Let me show you guys how I made my peaches and cream agua fresca. Here I have 4 peaches. Make sure that when you're choosing your peaches for your agua fresca, the peaches are soft, because if you get them too hard, your peaches are going to be too tart. Now I'm going to remove the pits from my peaches. Now I don't know if this is the proper way to remove pits from peaches, but I just start slicing the peach and then ripping the pit out. Don't worry guys, I'll wash my hands. Always remember to save a little bit of fruit for garnish. Now that's just to be extra, you don't really need it. Now I'm going to be honest with you guys, I am going to use canned peaches also because I want my water to be super creamy. You will also need evaporated milk and sweetened condensed milk and some sour cream. Now I'm just going to add everything to my blender, including the juice that the peaches came in. Add your evaporated milk, your sweetened condensed milk, and about a tablespoon or 2 of sour cream. Then I blend until smooth. I'm going to add my cut up peaches first because I don't want it to splatter all over my camera. Then I pour everything into my 3-quart pitcher, but it does make more than 3 quarts. It's going to make 4 quarts. Then I fill up the rest of my pitcher with water and mix everything together. Now this is the perfect time for you to check for sweetness. If it needs more sugar, add more sugar. If it's too sweet, just add more water. Fill up your favorite cup with ice. I'm going to add some extra peaches inside of my cup just in case I don't get any when I'm pouring myself some water, but as you can tell, I took them all. And there you have it guys. Now just add a matching straw to your cup and enjoy yourself some delicious and refreshing peaches and cream agua fresca. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how to make a takis esquite. First, I begin by removing the corn from my cob. And no, that is not a hair, it is actually from the corn. After I removed all the corn from the cobs, I'm going to transfer it to a pot, but I'm also going to add the cob in there. This is going to be for flavor, according to my mom. Cover up the corn with water, add a little bit of Mexican butter and some salt, and then take it to your stove and let this simmer for about 30 minutes. Some people like their esquite with lots of juice, and I personally don't like it like that, so I let my water evaporate a little bit more. I also remove the cobs because they serve their purpose. I like to prepare my mayo instead of adding every single ingredient to the esquite. So in a bowl, I just add a cup of mayo, a couple tablespoons of tajin, some chili powder, and lime juice. And then I whisk it up. Now we need to make the takis powder. Just put my takis into my food processor and then I pulverize them into powder. And I know you're gonna say, ma'am, that's a blender, but it's actually a food processor also. Now we're gonna prepare our esquites. We're basically gonna prepare these in layers. I'm gonna add some corn, my mayo, some queso cotija, and then I repeat the process. More corn, more mayo, more queso cotija, and then the top, we're going to top it off with lots of taki powder. To finish these off, I'm going to drizzle some squeezable butter. And there you have it, guys. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I make my campechanas. Here I have about 2 pounds of shrimp. I'm going to peel them, but I'm not going to throw away the shells. I'm going to reserve those because we're going to use those for the broth. I throw them into my pot, and then to my pot, I'm going to add 2 garlic cloves, a 1/4 piece of onion, and some bay leaves. I'm also going to season it with chicken bouillon and some fish seasoning. I add water, I take it to my stove and let this come to a boil. Then I cover and simmer on low for about 20 minutes. Meanwhile, we're going to remove the poo from our shrimpies. I didn't want to split the backs of my shrimps because I didn't want them to shrink, so I removed the poo with a skewer. You're basically just gonna poke at the backs of the shrimp with a skewer or a toothpick and then just pull on the poops. You also need some octopus, and here I have some baby ones. After the 20 minutes of simmering your shells, we're going to remove them, and then we're going to add the octopusy in here and let these cook for about 20 minutes. After the 20 minutes, you're going to add your shrimpies. Those are only going to cook for 2 minutes because we don't want them to overcook. Then we separate the shrimpies and the octopusy from the broth, and to the broth, we're going to add some ketchup and some clamato. I'm also going to put this in the freezer for about 30 minutes because I want this to be super cold. Meanwhile, we're going to cut up all the veggies that's going to go to our campechana. I make sure that I finely dice everything and then I mix it all together. Now, I don't have the campechana cup, but I do have a wine glass, so close enough. I make sure to add lots of octopusy because that's my fave. A couple of spoonfuls of the veggies and some avocado. You can't forget the lime juice and the ketchup. Don't mind me using ketchup packages because I forgot to buy ketchup at the damn store. I basically live there and I can never get out my groceries. Now I'm just gonna add a couple ladles of the broth that we made. Now we're gonna mix everything together. You already know I always have to do the most with my garnish, so I'm going to add 2 shrimpies and a piece of lime to my cup. And there you have it, guys. So this is how I made my campechana. Now I get to enjoy it with a nice cold ass michelada. Hope you like this recipe. Bye. Let me show you guys how I make my quick recipe of camarones a la diabla. In a pot, I'm gonna add about 2 tablespoons of butter and a scoop of Mexican butter. I'm also gonna add some garlic and onions, and I'm going to saute this for about 2 minutes. Then I add my shrimpies, season them with seasoning of choice. I'm using some Chef Merito fish seasoning, Chef Merito shrimp seasoning, some garlic, pepper, and some chicken bouillon. Then I saute them with the butter and the garlic and onions, and this is the part where everybody's gonna have a heart attack. But let me tell you, 8 out of 10 times when you go eat at a restaurant and you ask for camarones a la diabla, this is how they make them. You're gonna add some ketchup and some tapatio, a little bit of water, and then mix them together. Then you're gonna sprinkle a little bit of cilantro, give it a quick mix, and then sprinkle a little bit of cheese of choice. And yes, they add cheese to your camarones a la diabla. Now, I want buttholes to be burning tonight, so I'm gonna add a little bit of no regret sauce. Then I turn off the stove, cover my pot, and let the cheese melt. And there you have it, guys. This is how they taught me to make camarones a la diabla in all the Mexican restaurants that I worked at. Now I'm gonna serve mine with the white rice with corn and carrots. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let me show you guys how I made my curtido for my pupusas. You're gonna need a 1/4 head of cabbage, regular cabbage, and red cabbage. And I'm gonna thinly shred it. I'm gonna use my mandolin because it's easier for me. Then I add 4 cups of hot boiling water into the cabbage so it can get nice and soft. Well, I'm gonna cut up the rest of my veggies, which is 1 jalapeno, 1 serrano, and a 1/4 piece of onion. I'm also gonna shred 2 carrots, which, by the way, who the hell designed this stupid ass shredder? I hate it. I'm either shredding my fingers or smashing them. Anyways, I'm gonna drain the water from my cabbage and then add the rest of my veggies. 3/4 of a cup of apple cider vinegar, 3/4 of a cup of water, salt to taste, and a palmful of oregano. Here's where some of you might say I made a mistake. Instead of mixing it in here, I should have mixed it in the glass jar where I'm gonna store it. But either way, you can mix it here or in the glass jar. It doesn't even matter. It's still gonna taste the same. Go ahead and stick it in your fridge so it can get nice and cold. Now for the salsa, I'm gonna use 4 tomatoes, 1 jalapeno, a 1/4 piece of onion, and I'm gonna add some water and take it to my stove so it can boil. I'm gonna let them cool off before sticking them into my blender, and then I'm adding salt, chicken bouillon, cumin, oregano, and 2 garlic cloves. Blend until smooth. Meanwhile, I have a pot on my stove with oil getting nice and hot so I can pour my salsa in there. Then I let it come to a quick boil and it's ready. And that's it, guys. Now you have your curtido and your salsa ready for your pupusas. And this is what ours look like. Hope you like this recipe. Bye! Let's pack today's dinner box for my mama. Today I'm making her pupusas. I grease up my hands a little bit so that the masa doesn't stick to my hands, and then I add the filling. The filling is chicharrón, beans, and cheese, but I still add more cheese. Now this lady swears I feed everybody but their mamas except my mama, which is low-key true, but that's because she don't like anything that I make. So since she loves pupusas so much, today I'm gonna surprise her with some. Now I'm not a professional at making pupusas, so I still use the plate to form it, but hey, whatever works. Put them on my hot comal, and then I flip them over twice until they get puffy like that. Now this was my failed attempt of trying to show you guys a cheese pool because these things were hot, but I was able to show you a little bit. There, that's as much cheese pool as you're gonna get. Look at this one though. That one was oozing with cheese. These were big papa size, so I only made her 3. But look, they almost covered the whole phone box. This lady loves feeling special, so the fact that she's a star of my video, she's gonna be so happy. I'm gonna add the curtido in a Ziploc bag so that they don't get soggy. You know, I can't forget that sauce that goes all over your pupusas. For those who don't know what they're supposed to look like, this is what they're supposed to look like when she gets home and she prepares them. I didn't make any agua frescas for her because she don't like them. Every time I make them for her, she just doesn't drink them. For a sweet treat, she's getting fresas con crema. Now I'm just gonna pack everything up for her in my little Mexican bag so my sister can give them to her when she picks her up from work. And now she don't have to go to the taco truck like she told me she was. And that's it, guys. Bye!